guess I don't. Yeah, I gotta know if you're here. Let me know if you can hear me. I've got the chat on and just kind of waiting. I guess you can't really see my face, can you? I need to sit my chair up a little bit. I don't know if I can. I think that's as high up as it goes. I have to fix my little stand here so it's a little lower. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone been having a great week. Let's wait a little while and see if we got a couple people join us, and we will get started. So I am just kind of waiting to see if we got anybody here. So it's been a hot week here in Iowa, and if you've been in the Midwest in particular, it's been quite hazy. And I woke up yesterday morning and it was just full. I mean, it smelled like burnt plastic everywhere. I thought for sure I was going to have to call 911 while I was walking the dog because it was going to come across a fire. And it just smelled so bad and stuff. So it's starting to, it's a little hazy. It doesn't smell as bad today. And they said tomorrow should be even better. So hopefully that's all good. So just going to wait another minute. I see there's a couple people on. And just then we'll get started. So I think today, what we're going to do is we're going to play with the Oz Relief. Hi, Dion. How are you? We're going to play with a little bit less the Oz Release because we're going to start hi, Tia. We're going to, the new release or the Oz Release inspiration boxes through the Friday. And then July 1st, we start the new inspiration box. And hi, Jenny. How are you? So I thought I'd play with it today. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do because I've made a lot of Oz cards and I love them, but I just didn't know what else to really do. And so today I did a very deep dive down the YouTube rabbit hole and looked up mini slim fun folds. I am good, Dion. I am glad it's Wednesday. I'm counting down the days to create your own ending. So next week at this time, I will, as soon as I sign off, I'll be getting ready for bed because I got to get up early to catch my flight. So my voice is kind of in and out. Let me try and try a different monitor. Okay. Let me try. Let's see, because it could be this phone. Let me turn this one off. And see if this one's better. Hi, puppy. Okay. There we go. We'll turn this one off and see if that helps. Because I usually use this one here. And is that better? Hi, Mama. Okay, I'm going to turn down my volume on my tablet so I can't hear myself. There we go. All right. So anyway, I decided we're going to make them. I love mini slimlines. They're my favorite kind of cards. Slimline cards are good, but mini slimline is my favorite. So awesome. Thank you. So I have a piece of white cardstock here. Hi, Annie. How are you? Ooh, 3. Both my sisters and my mom are here. So this card is at 7 inches by 6 inches. And I scored it at 1 1/4 and 3 1/2. So that is our scoring for that. And I will put these measurements in the description box tomorrow when I have a chance. I probably won't have a chance to get on the computer tonight after this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and reforce the folds. I actually bent that backwards. So we're going to score it like normal. So this would be like a mini slimline card here. And then this one, we're going to fill back. So like I said, I just found this on YouTube. And all the ladies in the art studios and the Washington Friends made it. Awesome. Well, hello, everyone in the art studio. So this is basically our card today. And I thought I would utilize the Over the Rainbow paper pad because it is back in stock. Dion, it is my favorite. And I rotate between 3 1/2 and by 6 by 3 1/4 by 6, 3 1/4 by 6 1/4. It kind of depends on my envelope. I'll probably end up cutting this down a little bit because I'm not sure if it's going to fit in my envelope. Let's grab one. I always based it on my letter size envelope, and see, it just fits in there. And I could have done 6 1/4, but then it just kind of fits too. So I like to do it just a little bit short. So I think I am going to trim it off just a hair here. So that means our measurements are going to be a little bit. Oops. The nice thing about a mini slim card is that it's a different thing. And you know, a slimline card can give you a lot of real estate if you're going to make, especially if you're going to make a scene card, you know, whether you do it this way or this way. A mini slim isn't quite. So I mean, it's I don't know, it's my favorite. And the one thing I like about it is the reason we're going to do that tonight is that I already have 6 by 6 pieces of paper. I can cut this in half at 3 inches. Oh, I cut it at 3 1/2. Oops. So that one's not going to work, but that's okay because we need a short. We're going to cut this anyway. But you cut it in half in a mini slim, and that is exactly perfect to fit on a mini slim card. You could trim it down if you want it on both ends. So, but that is one of the reasons with Dorothy tonight. That's why I want to use the Dorothy pattern. So I need, I don't know, let me see if I can find my measurements here. Okay, so we need, this is a 1 1/4, so we need a 1 inch. So we're going to go ahead and cut that off the small piece here, a 1 inch. And okay, we're going to cut this at 1 inch. And this piece is going to go right here. We are going to cut it down a little bit too. So we are at 6. So we're going to cut it to 5 3/4 because we want just a little bit of that edge to show. So we're going to have that. And then this is where it's really fun. You can have 2 other colors or you could have 3 other colors. I'm going to go with 2. Actually, that's what I was really going to do, wasn't it? That's okay. We're still going to put the Dorothy one right here. I was going to put the Dorothy one in the back here, but we'll choose another pattern paper to do that. So I can go ahead because this is double-sided and I could flip this over and we could use this side. But I'm going to look and see what else we got here. We've got the yellow brick road. I kind of think I'm going to do the red because I like the ruby slippers to go with her foot, her shoes. So we've got this as a 1, and this one is, my measurements are a little bit different. So I need 3 inches than what I wrote down because I changed this a little bit. So this is going to go on the inside. And then once again, we need to trim it down a little bit. So it's going to go here. And it's up to you if you want the whole thing or if you want part of it away, but I'm going to do the whole thing. And then this side isn't going to be as important because we're not going to see it. But this measures at 2 1/4. So we need a piece that's 2 inches. And I can go shorter if I really wanted to because it is going to be hidden. For all sake and purposes, I'm going to do the whole piece. Okay, so get our extra pieces out of the way. And then we're going to go ahead and put this down to 5. And so we're going to put our card base together first. So you can go through and very quickly make slimline cards out of a pattern 6 by 6 pattern paper pack and use up a pattern and use it up. You know, if this was a regular card, you could put this down on top. I mean, look, this is another way. If you didn't want to do this fancy fold, and you could put this right on top, you could mat it in white, and there you go. You just put a sentiment, and you're good to go. So it is, yep, ruby slippers with that paper, and that's why I thought we'd go with Dorothy's dress and ruby slipper paper. So I just go ahead and put a little glue. I like to use tape runner when I am using my panels versus liquid glue. I tend to use too much liquid glue then, and then it bubbles up. So I tend to use that. So we've got this. And then I'm going to open this up for a minute. Let's grab an old block. I'm going to put this down. Sorry if I'm off screen a little bit. I'm just putting on some tape on my paper here. So I do want to tell you that today or tomorrow is the last day to enter the contest on the Brutus Monroe fan club page for a chance to be entered into win a $25 gift certificate to the store. The details are on the website, but you do need to use at least one Brutus Monroe product. And the actual theme this month is to use aqua pigments. So using aqua pigments is your Brutus Monroe thing. And you use the hashtag CYOE challenge so that I can find it. And I put all the names in the hat and do a random draw. Actually, I type everybody's names in and then I do a random generator online. And that is it. So, and then I am also going to be posting them on the Brutus Monroe blog in July, the first Sunday in July, as a recap. So you can enter up to two projects. Now this is one where you could have put that paper down. I'm eyeballing it all so that it's, excuse my head if it's in the way. I'm gonna put that, there we go. So that it lined up across the top and the bottom. But I eyeballed it and it's pretty close. So there's our base for our card. We could put some paper in here if we really wanted to keep tying this thing. So now the last thing we could do is you can leave it like this so it flips, but I am gonna take this shut, and I'm just gonna use some foam tape to give it a little bit of dimension. And I am just using, this is really inexpensive tape from the Dollar Tree because it's thin, and that is what I'm going to use. It's also very, very sticky. So we're going to just tape that. And just to give it a little bit of dimension. So last weekend, I got together with one of my sisters and my mom and a bunch of friends and did a bunch of crafting, and it was so much fun. I had a blast. And I originally had signed up for that before Create Your Own Ending was in July and teaching at Create Your Own Ending. So I'm super excited to have another crafty thing next week. So you'll have to stay tuned, or I don't know if I'm going to go live at all, just for fun on my Facebook channel or Instagram or YouTube. I might try a YouTube live if I can, maybe the first day. I'm going to be there on Thursday. I've never done YouTube live on my channel, which is Candi Sugar Cards, but I might do that just to try it out as a test and do a little tour of the store. I'm super excited. So, all right, so there is our panel, and it'll be in our card in here. I could even go further, and we could add this to the inside of our card if you wanted to, or you could trace it and cut it, but I'm going to save that for another day. All right, next, I have some Perfect Blend alcohol paper, and I cut it up with foundation dies. And this is where I wasn't sure. We can put it towards the bottom, we can put it towards the top, we can put it in the middle. I think we're going to put it in the middle. I don't know which size we're going to use yet because we're going to stamp Dorothy and Toto on it. So let's put our thing to the side here. And if we get done too soon, I will go ahead and make another mini slim card. So let's get our, sorry, puppy. That was just me. It was just mommy. Hey, Fletch. Hey, it's okay. It was just me. He heard me bunking and banging, and he thinks there's somebody here. Hey, come here. It's okay. It was just mama. He won't come sit. You want to jump up? You want to say hi? Oh, I don't know if you can say hi or not. Oh, you can say, should we tip me down? Oh, should we tip the camera down so you can say hi? This is my puppy. He likes to be inside when mama has her lives. He doesn't like to be outside. He doesn't like to be locked out. So it's okay. Mama's making the noise. Okay? Okay. Okay, get down. Good boy. So I have, thank you for that. I have the There's No Place Like Home set here, and we're going to use the Dorothy and the Toto. And He is a puppy. Actually, he is only 10 months old. So that's why I say puppy. But he's a big puppy. um, he is, uh, we've had him since October, and he was supposed to be 20 pounds, Deanna, and he's like 40. So I am just going to kind of eyeball this. I think we're going to cut it, see if we can get the whole thing on. I'm going to put this on just like this. We can kind of keep it here. We're just kind of eyeballing. If it's off the circle a little bit, it's okay. I decided I wanted, he is a big baby. He's a big baby. He's my big baby. Yes, he is. And anytime I make bumpy noises, he starts barking. But yeah, the mom and the dad were only about 20, 25 pounds. And so that's what we thought we were getting. And he was 30 pounds by December. So I think he's maybe 40 pounds. So he can't jump up on my lap too much anymore, but he hasn't gotten any bigger. He's very long. So he can like reach the top of the counter. He can reach the top of we have one of the high top dining room tables, and he puts feet on that, and he's crazy, but he's very, very much, he doesn't bark very often unless he hears noises or somebody comes. Otherwise, oh shoot. And I moved it just enough. Well, we're going to flip it over. Actually, we're just going to cut out a new piece. How does that sound? And then we'll die cut it out. That will work because I moved it. I tend to do that. Cut this down. I'm just cutting off a piece because this corner is straight. And we will put this back in place. So he does lots of whining, but not a lot of barking. Okay. And right now he's been kind of, because mama's gone. So I only stamped it out. I'm not worried about it being super dark right now because I'm going to go ahead and restamp over it again when I'm all done coloring. So a tip I learned from somebody here on one of the lives was to put a piece of scratch paper underneath my paper while I'm alcohol blending, and that helps kind of suck some of these up. I am just going to do some color plucking, which means I'm just going to grab some colors and go for it. And so I may or may not have, I'm going to use Olo markers, mostly because I think I need a few more. Actually, I changed my mind. We're going to use the Spectrum Noir for the most part. Okay, so we've got gray. You may have to grab some Copics too. Ice blue. Maybe some brown gray. And there. Okay, so we're going to start. I'm going to go ahead and start with her shoes. So I tend to do dark to light, but I'm going to start with light to dark today, just because. So I'm going to put on my cheaters. So there you go, sisters. You see what I look like in glasses? I'm one of the only members who don't wear glasses on a normal basis, but when I color, I wear my cheaters because it blows everything up for me. All right. So I hope everyone's having a good summer. Anyone have good 4th of July plans? My town days are Saturday, so the fireworks are Saturday night here in Guttenberg. I live on the Mississippi River, and last year the fireworks were literally just across the street from me on the river. So I'm hoping that's the way it's going to be this year. I don't know if I have the right color for skin in. I might use just this very pale coral. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's what we're going to use for her skin. She might have had tights on, but I'm going to just use the skin color. Trying very carefully not to touch too much of the black because some of these light colors, no matter what ink you have, can pull the dark colors, and they just like them. Just going to kind of go around the edges very carefully. Not really do any shading on her legs or her skin. Try to avoid touching like her lips and actually her eyes, kind of go around her eyes. I'm just going to kind of tap around those spots so I don't accidentally grab in there and smear the black ink, because that does happen with like light pinks, like peachy pinks like this, and yellows. Okay. And then for her blue dress, what I did before, Dion, I am in Iowa. I'm from Minnesota originally, and I can't wait for fall and winter either. I love fall and winter, and so does my dog. He loves winter. So I am excited for it to be coming. I am not a heat summer girl. So I am doing dark right now because I'm going to go ahead and put in some dark lines where I want them, like under her chin and under on all the little lines that are already on my dress, under her braids here, or her pigtaily braids, whatever you want, and that's a little bit on the edge, and then a little bit down here because it's going to be darker here under her basket. And then under her, so I'm just kind of following along. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the medium here, and we're just going to draw some lines. And I know it's not going to be perfectly gingham, but it will get the idea. Just kind of very quickly fussy. Give her some white and blue. And then we're going to do that. We are going to color in her ribbons though, blue. Okay. And then you don't know we have gray. I'm going to go ahead and color in dark gray on Toto's belly here, just to give him some lightness, and around his little face here, so he's not super dark. And then I'm going to grab some markers, some Copics, because I don't have any that. And I think I'm just going to add a few spots of hair here and there with this gray. So, well, Dorothy's hair is brown, isn't it? Duh. So we're gonna, I just wanted to put black. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? Depends. I don't remember what they say in the book. I haven't read the book, and this is what the drawings are based on. Just gonna kind of scribble her hair different colors so that they got some variegation. And then we'll have a bunch of different colors. So like I said, I'm super excited that we're getting close to create your own ending. I have been helping get class stuff ready and seeing the projects, and I'm just really excited. So her basket is supposed to be light, so we're going to go ahead and just use this light golden shade. I'm going to color the whole thing with it. And then we'll just add a little bit of darkening here and there. And I'll just add just a couple little lines here where the lines are for some darkness, and maybe on this basket rim. There we go. Okay, and then I think I'm also going to do just a little bit of this right here on Toto's collar, and then we're going to go ahead and grab our Copic blacks. I'm going to use C5, maybe C7. C5 and C3, I think. Let's see if C5 is dark enough. It might be dark enough. I don't know if I want to go super dark. We're just going to do a little bit of blending just to give him some variation color, but he doesn't need a lot of because we're not doing a lot of blending. We're doing some quick coloring here. The C3. I could make him darker, but I want you guys to get to see him, and I think this gives you an idea. Sometimes if you go too dark, you can't see all the fun lines. All right, so there we go. Let's put those back away, and we're going to die cut this out. I got to take these glasses off. Giving me a headache for spinning around. Oof. And we're going to put our Copics or Spectrum Noir markers away, and we're going to cut this out. So here you can see where, you know, like the red bled a little bit behind. You can see a little bit of that color, but this, I think this helps kind of suck some of that up. So that's a nice tip to have, is just put a piece of scratch paper underneath any colors alcohol markers. Now we are going to grab our foundation dyes, and I believe this is the one I want. Oh, Jenny, I just happened to see the sweet puppy. Thank you. He is a sweet puppy. So he is growing up quite a bit. I'm just going to go ahead and eyeball that right kind of where I want it. I'm using a little bit of pixie tape. I'm going to quick dye to cut this. I'll be right back. Oh, I'm glad I didn't die cut. That's not what I wanted to do, was it? I forgot. I want to stamp over the image. This is the part where people get nervous because you did all that die cutting or all that coloring. So this is where you want to make sure it kind of lines up in the window. And I wasn't going to do this if I had done it on the circle already, but because I haven't die cut it out, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp right over the top. Hello, Michelle. How are you? I am going to stamp over the top. So, oh, Alan, you caught me again. Yay. I just finished kind of doing some Spectrum Noir coloring, and I am showing how I like to stamp black over the top of it. Hopefully it's all lined up perfect. Look at that. It's perfect. And that gives it just a little bit, this way? I'm always so, a little bit of extra on top. So, you know, the first time I did it, it scared me. But the big key is making sure it's in the corner and it's all lined up, and then you can do that. So, oh, we've got some time left, so we might be creating more than one card tonight. All right. So there we go. We're going to use that quick, and I'll run this through the die cut machine. And we got that cut out. But now Toto and Dorothy are floating, right? Floating in midair. So let's throw my pixie tape off to the side here. We'll use that later. So we got to add just a little bit of color to them, so they have like something to walk on. Now, haven't decided what we should do. I'm thinking maybe we'll put some yellow down there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my medium yellow from the light yellow blends. Look, I get a little nervous. So we're just going to kind of draw some lines. Nothing super fancy. And then I'll draw up a little bit. And then I'm going to draw some lines like this. And then we will go ahead and grab the light color, and I'm just going to kind of might cover that up a little bit. We might have to redraw those lines. Yeah, we might have to redraw those lines. I'm going to go ahead and color those in. You know, if you were taking your time, you could mask them off and do some ink blends. Have they borrowed one? Maybe they have. They could have. Yes, they could have. I've not done a lot of iridescent anyway, so I'm not sure if I And that is hard to see. So we are going to find, let's see, a different color here. That is too dark. Let's see what color this is. Ooh, that's very, very green. Let's grab, ooh, I have this. This is a different, it's a tricolor from Spectrum Noir. I think it's a watercolor. Oh yeah, we will very carefully draw some lines, kind of make it a yellowy brick road. Get the idea, right? All right, sorry, I was concentrating. Sometimes when I'm concentrating, I don't talk. All right, and then we need a little bit of, I think, green. We're gonna go ahead and do the light green again. And we're just gonna do, the reason I'm gonna do green, well, let's do blue because it can be the sky. We'll do this blue turquoise color. We're just gonna kind of lightly color it all over. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I am gonna go around the edges of them just because I don't want white right there. I mean, if you didn't have to, we could have done some aqua pigments on here to kind of give it that look, but I didn't want to ruin my coloring, so just gonna give it, it's okay if it's streaky a little bit. A quick draw around the edges of our animal here. And we'll fill that in. Ooh, this close-up work is not good for my eyeballs. So we get that done and we'll get this plopped on our card. And I think it was Lisa, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was Lisa, one of the design team gals, one of the gals on the design team, because we do have um, a male on the team. She created some sort of bubble with markers or paints or something on a card. I'm not sure if it was been shared or not yet on social media, but it was just stunning. So, all right, so we've got that. And then we're going to go ahead and grab our card base. And then we need a sentiment. So here's our card base. We got our ruby slippers. We've got our thing. You know what else we're going to do before we put this on? We're going to get some sparkle on those ruby slippers. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the pearl here. I'm going to shake it up off camera. We don't need much, so we're just going to put little dots on there, and we're going to grab this tiny little paintbrush. And I'm going to paint her shoes. I didn't water it down this much, so it might cover up it a little bit, but it will give it some sparkle because these are ruby slippers after all. And they just give a little bit, and I'm thinking we could even put a little bit on the yellow brick road in different spots. I'm not going to cover the whole thing completely, but it will give it just a little bit of sparkle and a tiny bit on Toto's thing here. We tag because it would be metal. We got a little bit of sparkle. Now it probably isn't going to show up well on camera, but I can see it in person. Let's wipe that off. We'll get this glued on. So now I do not want it to cover over here. So we are going to be careful. I am probably going to put a little bit of foam tape down just so it doesn't fall on this side. And we're just going to cut a little piece off. It doesn't have to be a very big piece. I am going to trim it into like a circle-y shape. Yeah, see how sticky that is? This cheap stuff here. Let's make sure we're going to put that in right about in there. So when I put this down on here, it doesn't really fall, but I need a little bit up there yet. And that just helps keep it all at one level, especially if it was to be mailed in the card and the mail. So There we go. So we got that. And I'm going to grab some liquid glue here. And peel off my foam tape backer. And we've got this here. And we've got our little Dorothy. We could have left it plain and let her just kind of be floating, but there we go. And we've got this little card here. It's going to take a minute for it to dry on there, but we've got our little card. Ah, I saw there was some ladies on Facebook I didn't that had done a few storks. I'm not sure if that was the same people. And you had to talk to Heather today. I talked to Heather a couple times last week. I'm sure I'll probably talk to her more this week as we get ready. But it's good. Wednesdays are a good day for Brutus Monroe, right? Well, any day's a good day for Brutus Monroe, but you know. All right, so we've got this, and this is our fun flap. Thanks, Mama. I think we need a sentiment though. And I think we need to do There's No Place Like Home because it is Dorothy and she's on her way home. And I'm going to go ahead and use this circle that we already have, and we're just going to stamp it out and we're going to stick it on the inside so it's covered up until you open it up. So we will grab our mini Misty here again. Let me wipe my stamps off here, my stamp chamois. I finally got my stamp chamois out. Thanks, Michelle. Okay, yeah, I remember seeing them. It was kind of fun to see them going. Like, next week is my first visit to the store. Hopefully not my last, but it is my first visit. I'm super excited. So I have a feeling I'm not going to sleep at all next Wednesday, and I'm going to have to like sleep on the plane because I'm just going to be exhausted, and then go to bed early Wednesday night. Or Thursday night, so I'm all ready for Friday. Okay. Yes, Ellen, I'm going to go to Create Your Own Ending. I am teaching a class there. I'm super excited. So, but because I live in a small town, I have to get easiest way for me to get there is to get a flight out the day before. So I will be excited. So there we go. We're going to do that. And I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and add the glue to the back. Of course, my glue is being stupid today. I need a new to replace the nozzle on here, and I just haven't. Okay. One trick I can tell you I learned from a friend is once in a while is to blow into the cap, and it blows the glue out of it. But sometimes it's just not working today. I think I have to refill my jar, so it probably needs. And if I don't cover it with the silicone topper, put the knife, see, it's popping out now. It tends to get just air just enough, especially in the summer heat up. So there we go. So here, I'll remember to put my little topper on it this time. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of line it up on here. Oh, make sure we're on the straight, and then I'm going to fold it. And then I'll look at it and be like, okay, we're going to move it over just a hair. There's no place like home. So now it's hidden behind there. So here we go. There is our mini slim fun fold card. Probably because of the needs to be reinforced a little bit. I just used some 80-pound cardstock, so it isn't, but you know, it stands up kind of nice, and that's the fun part of that. So what is start? We've got about 20 minutes. Let's make another fun. I don't know if we'll do a fun fold. We'll just do a quick card. So what I do is I take my 8.5 sheets of paper when I make mini slim cards, and I cut it down at 4 inches because that gives me 7, right? And then before I go to this paper, I cut this one down to 3 1/4. And now this is ready for a slimline card base. Put that off to the side. I keep this for a sentiment strip. And then I put this, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I'm going to cut this down at 6 1/4 this time. which is what I have my tape measurement here for. And then score it at 3.5. And we'll choose a couple of pattern papers here quick. Now, one way, no, did I do that right? 3.5? 6 1/4. Okay. Sometimes when I look at it, it looks weird, and I think it's because I usually do 3 1/4. So that means I would have to cut it, but I always do 7 inches because it's easier for my measurements. And then my envelope. I had that envelope here. Did I put it away? So here is the sample that. See, it just fits in there at 3.5 by 6 1/4. So every time you get envelopes, you might want to check it to see, because sometimes it doesn't quite fit. The 6 1/4 doesn't quite fit, but this fits perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and use this one like this. And then we're going to cut some paper down. And of course, I have cheap envelopes here, so it's not going to come out easily. I've got some pieces that I put to the side from other projects. Pull those out. We might use some of that. I just have everything kind of stored in a stamp envelope right now, especially when I have lots of little pieces like this. And then we'll see what kind of color we have here. So I should feel like I should just go ahead and use this one. It's already perfect. I'm not going to use that side, but I do kind of like this side. And here's one where I told you we could do that. I think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and reuse that. And here's where the green, so we could use the green. You know, we've got the rainbow, we've got the tornado. I have some small pieces here that I really don't need to keep. And then here's the black and white version of her dress. So let's put this off to the side here. And we'll go ahead and start attaching. If you are not a colorer and you loved this Wizard of Oz paper, you could go ahead and get this and just, you could type out a sentiment on your computer in white and cut it out. Or just look for a sentiment, you know, if you have somebody who loves the Wizard of Oz, just use, you know, you need to make a birthday card or thinking of you card. This is a quick, fun way to use the paper. Go ahead, I'm going to put it down towards the bottom. And kind of make sure, there we go. Kind of eyeball that, make sure it's kind of straight. I think it might be up a little high on this side. But it might not have cut that other piece super straight, because I was looking at it looks good up here, but down here I have some, so for some reason that might not be quite, it's straight enough, it works. All right, now we need a sentiment. And I think we're going to go ahead and stick these back on its stamp. Actually, you know what I think we'll do? I'm going to use this. You have had the power all along. And did we have any ruby paper left? We didn't, but that's fine. We're going to stamp this out and cut it out in a circle. So let's get that done first. See if we get the right size. Nope, that's this piece of paper is too short, so we will use this one. Yeah, they are just iconically Dorothy. They're perfect for it. And we're going to do that. You have the power all along. And we're going to put the ruby slippers on there. I think that is the perfect little quick card. Stamp that down a little bit quick. Clean my stamp off, but I'll put my stamp away after. Just clean it off since I'm next we will, takes a second for that to set in this paper because it is, it feels like it's got a little bit of a gloss on it, so I don't want it to smear. So while it's doing that, I will grab the die of the month and we will quickly grab our shoes. We've got our backer and our topper, and then we've got our bows, and we've got the sparkles. And I left my sparkles all connected because I figured that was the best way to cut them out. I am just going to go ahead and grab, I don't think I have any the glitter stock. I do not have any of the Dorothy glitter stock right now, but I believe it's the same as the big pieces here. You were called Dorothy often because of that, but that's not too bad. I've never been to Kansas. I've never been to Kansas. I don't think I've been to the on the Kansas side. I was just talking about that because I've been through Pennsylvania when I went to Washington or to New York with my daughter. We drove through it. I mean, I don't remember it. I was sleeping, so I don't really count that. But I have a layover in South Carolina, so I'm super excited because that's a state I haven't been to before. And not that I'm putting them all on my bucket list, but I'm adding on more states. I am not going to use, we're going to use the backer with a different color, the different red, because I don't necessarily need to have the sparkle on the inside. Of course, it moved a little bit, so let's grab that pixie tape again. I'm just cut these out here real quick while we let that, I'm still letting that sentiment dry. Oh, and it moved again. It's glitter paper doesn't like tape like this, so I'll have to tape it to the cutting plate so it doesn't move. And then I could do sparkles in red as well, but I think I'm going to see if I have a vellum piece handy for the sparkles. We may not even put the sparkles on because you might not see them. So here is the shoes, and there is the bows. And I'll just put that off to the side for now. And then we need a red shoe. So I'll grab some red cardstock, and I do have a small piece of vellum right here we can do. So quick do that. We'll cut those out at the same time here. I have a little magnetic plate up here at the top of my desk that I don't think you can see that I put my dies in sometimes. So we've got that, and we need this to put our little sparkles. Get this put together. So there is so much fun with the inspiration box and subscription products. All sorts of things you can add together to play with each other. The paper, the dies, the sentiments. It all works. The glitter paper, there are kits available that have, like there's a Dorothy kit that has all the colors you would need to make something for Dorothy, you know, and the Wizard, the Wicked Witch, and not the Wizard, the Wicked Witch, the Tin Man. So you can check that out, especially if you're a scrapbooker and you're like, well, I want to make a Dorothy page, but I don't have everything, and has different colors of pattern paper, and it has colors of so there we go. We got our ruby slippers, and then we need to cut this out yet. Had the power all along, I think. This one? Yep, this is the one we're going to use. I think this one's too big. Yep, that's okay. I don't want it to be so big. All right. If you're just joining us, or if you kind of skipped the beginning while I was starting, don't forget tomorrow's the last day to enter the contest for the Brutus Monroe fan club page challenge. We've had the power all along. Go ahead and glue that down. You need to use aqua pigments. You can do 2 projects. Use the hashtag CYOE challenge. You have till 11:59 p.m. tomorrow night to enter, and I will be drawing names then on Friday and announcing the winner. And then the winner gets a $25 gift certificate to the store. And then I will also post in the chat and the fan club group who the winner is. And then all of the entries will be featured in a blog post, recap blog post, which is a good way for people to see your projects next month. So, and then the next challenge will start on Saturday. All right, I've got my shoes and I am using liquid glue. And then what I'm going to do is my paper towel off to the right here. I usually use my stamp towel, but my stamp towel is very dirty. And I just kind of push it in, and that helps take out the extra glue. So when it dries, it's not so bad. Got that, and we're going to go ahead and put a little Beaux-Arts, and I'm going to use a jewel picker for that. My friend just gave me this one. She bought it off somebody off Etsy. I don't know the name, and gave us all. It will be hard to see the bows because they are the same kind of color. I probably could have done them in a different, in the regular red so you can see them, but you got to have them in person. If you see up close, they're super sparkly. We're going to put those up here. If you had done it could be up there. We could put them here, but I'm going to put them in right about here. We're going to glue those down. Yeah, you can do up to two projects, and you just normally you have to use at least one Brutus Monroe product. Well, aqua pigments are a Brutus Monroe product, so yeah, and it can be anything, any theme you want, any project you want, and you can do up to two projects for it, because some people want to, and then you can be entered twice, and that's it. And you just use that hashtag in it so that I can find it easier. I mean, I will scroll through posts tomorrow, but it is a lot easier if somebody puts the CYOE challenge in the hashtag because I can see it. And that's it. Next month's challenge will be a little bit different, but like let's say if I said make a birthday card, like that was the challenge I did in April. So you can make a birthday card. That was the theme, but you had to use at least Brutus Monroe product. Because aqua pigments are a Brutus Monroe product, that could be your, your item. But that's the main thing, is that you have to at least use one. I'm going to go ahead and push these little papers out. And have them sit right here, and I'm going to make sure I don't lose that. Hashtag CYOE challenge. Let's see if I can put that in here in the chat quick. OE challenge. And then it's in the fan club page. Brutus Monroe fan club page. There you go. That is it. Okay. CYOE challenge. That way I can find it the easiest. And then we're just going to go ahead and add a little sparkles. I'm going to put a couple on her toes. And I think I'll put one back here. I'm only going to do 3 of the sparkles because I like, odd numbers. Yeah, come on, stick. And we recommend you using liquid glue when you are using glitter stock because it likes to stick. So there we go. So there is our second card, mini slimline card tonight, using the paper pad, the Oz paper pad. I will pull out, let me put my glue stick in here. I'll pull my first card out. I appreciate y'all joining me tonight. I will stay tuned for next week. We've got new subscription products that I will be showcasing. And then I will be off to CYOE. So here are our two cards. We have this fun fold, and I will put measurements in the description box tomorrow. Which one did you like, Rebecca? The fun fold or the shoe one? This one was very simple. It's a slimline card and it's scored at one. Let me check my pattern thing. 1 1/4 and 3 1/2. So 1 1/4. The shoe one. Thank you. This was a very, I just used some pattern paper quick that I left over. Very easy to do. A slimline card, mini slimline card, because the 6x6 pattern paper fits perfectly. And we've got two Dorothy cards. So there you go, Ellen, and you can go for it. And that Dorothy and Toto, that, you know what? I love them both. They're both great. I'm going to add them to my stash. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Hope you have a great rest of your week. I won't see you before, so have a happy and safe 4th of July and festivities. And thank you, Eva. Thank you. It's very fun. I just kind of found it on the internet, and I have a few more that I'm going to be playing with over the next few weeks because I love mini slims. And this is one you wouldn't have to tape down. I did tape it down so it could flop, but I'm going to do a tri-fold card, I think, next week. Thanks, Kate. Have a great evening. I appreciate y'all, and I will see you guys next week, okay? Be safe, everyone.